Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And so we're done with all the Superman movies. What other fucking superhero franchise is getting a movie adaptation this year? That's right. X-Men. X-Men Apocalypse comes out this year, so we're going to celebrate by doing commentaries for every single fucking X-Men movie. At least the theatrically released ones. And yes, we're going to do the two Wolverine ones too.
Yay!
Yay! Even though I think those are the weakest out of all 7 existing movies so far. But
Really?
hey, I do.
Even worse than Last Stand.
People shit on Last Stand. I don't think it's great, but I'm like, hey, this is entertaining.
Actually, I'll join that band camp.
I will too, but again, disclaimer: we do this every fucking time. Then we watch it.
I haven't seen
and
it
then
for
we're
years.
like, it's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh, no.
So disclaimer.
I'm putting my hat in the ring. I watched it within the last year,
Okay.
ish, and it wasn't that bad.
Okay. Yeah.
And upon watching it, I remember being like, actually, when this movie came out, I didn't hate it. It was the weakest of the first 3, but like I didn't hate it. And then I just got wrapped up in the hatred from all the fanboys. So then I just decided that I hated it.
It's kind of like peer pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And
Whispers in your ear at night.
and like forced.
Wait, X-Men the Last Stand.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it sounded like.
It's like when the Ring of Power is whispering.
your DVDs,
but
glowing.
and also forced memories. But by hearing their stories, my memory of the movie changed.
Also like the worst post-credit scene of all time. But that's fine.
There is a great scene in the film, though.
Worst payoff to the post-credit
There's a couple
scene,
great scenes.
as in it never happened.
Yeah. But the
Merida, or whatever her name is. Merida?
in
X3?
What was Miranda?
Miranda. Miranda's in Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
That's some
Moira?
M name.
Moira
Moira.
Taggart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miranda.
Played by Olivia Williams from The Postman. Anyway, so we're doing the first X-Men film, as you can probably tell by the name of this fucking episode.
And
So-
the poster that I put on it.
Yeah, so I mean, this movie it's kind of wild because it doesn't feel that old, but it's 16 years old now.
Yeah.
This is really, I mean, you can credit Blade for helping generate interest in comic book movies, but I really feel
Thank you, Blade.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel it was X-Men that made the thing fucking explode. The 1-2 X-Men Spider-Man punch. So
Well, I feel like it did it for the mass audience, not comic book fans.
that's literally what I just said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cunt.
He was saying it's what brought it to the masses.
Oh, okay.
But
You entitled prick.
Thank you.
let's just start the motherfucker.
All right, so we are watching it on my DVD copy of X-Men 1.5.
Which isn't an alternate cut.
No, the 1.5 just means I have more special features. Other than I think if you only have X-Men 1 or 1.0 or whatever the hell they called it, all you have is commentary, whereas I have deleted scenes and shit like that. But the movie itself, exact same. So as per usual, we have the movie started up, ready to go. I have it paused with the counter at all zeros. Feel free to make sure you have that set up too, and then I will tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
They'd been Marvel had been shopping around the rights to an X-Men film since the 80s. And the original idea was it would be what's his name? Bob Hoskins as Wolverine. Angela we're talking like shortly before Roger Rabbit, Bob Hoskins. So still middle-aged, but Angela Bassett would have been Storm. But obviously it didn't fucking happen.
Yeah. The more you know. Man.
Bob fucking Hoskins.
But it was under development. In the 90s, they offered the role to Glenn Danzig because he's short and buff. At least he was in
I would
the
have
90s.
fucking loved that.
Yeah. This is an honest to God. I'm not endorsing this quote as anything. The fact that they asked this is so fucking ridiculous. They asked Glenn Danzig how he would have played Wolverine differently than Hugh Jackman, and I swear to God, this is what he said: less gay.
That's Danzig for you.
That's Danzig. Post Misfits Danzig is the worst.
The Yeah, this had been in development for a while. What really got it out of development hell was how much 20th Century Fox loved the animated series. They're
Yeah.
like, there's potential here.
Everybody loved the animated series.
Oh, it's no.
I actually learned how to play that on guitar when I learned how to play guitar.
And it had one of the best pilots
Yeah.
ever as well.
Night of the
This is
Sentinels.
for you, Morph.
Yeah.
A 3-parter, right?
Yeah, ish.
I
Something
thought it was
about
two-parter.
It might have been 2-parter.
They had a lot of.
Yeah.
They had a lot of like ongoing things, like
Arcs.
Yeah, like the Phoenix Saga was like 10 or 20 episodes,
Well, because I remember it was
including like Dark Phoenix. And
Pizza Hut or McDonald's. You could buy like the 2 VHSs
Yeah.
of the pilot.
I remember a couple of friends I had friends growing up that had the VHS Night of the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Look at how seriously they started an X-Men movie with.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
it's like it
Heavy
looks
fucking
like
shit.
fucking Schindler's List, which at that point is like less than like 10
That's
years
crazy.
old.
Yeah, it's like what, 6 years old.
Yeah. It's what Spielberg does right after Jurassic Park. And Bryan Singer was hired based on the strength of Usual Suspects. He was looking to branch into science fiction after doing such like a kind of a hard crime story, and they offered him X-Men or Alien Resurrection. And he really wanted to do Alien Resurrection because at the time he wasn't familiar with the X-Men, and they were like, just kidding, you get X-Men.
Chose wisely, I guess.
I'm interested to see what a Bryan Singer Alien Resurrection would have looked like.
Hopefully better.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to say hopefully. I just assume better.
Just throw shit on a wall. It's like, it's better. Is Sigourney Weaver in it? I think over there.
That's how most storyboarding meetings go, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so fucking serious ass opening.
This is my favorite of the trilogy, by the way, is the first X-Men movie. X2 is a lot of fun. But I feel like most people I talk to when they mention an X2, they're like, fucking Wolverine goes berserk, how fucking badass. And I'm like, what about the rest of the movie? They're like, it's all right.
Nightcrawler attacks the White House.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Fucking seeing Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
Alan Cumming. Ah.
that entire opening was just
Yeah.
money.
X2 is
Just
my favorite X-Men
Kissing,
film.
kissing
It's between
an
that,
exploding butthole.
Yeah.
it's between that and Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past might win, but for sheer nostalgia's sake, I'd probably
Oh, no, Days of Future Past is my favorite with, like, any X title, whatever. But in terms of, like, I guess
The
just
original.
the trilogy, yeah. And X2 is money.
It's a toss-up between Days and the Wolverine.
really we'll get to the Wolverine.
Oh, boy.
Which one's the Wolverine?
Japan.
The shit
Okay.
one.
I think you're confusing that with Wolverine Origins.
I like Wolverine.
We'll talk about it when we come to it, but I will say Wolverine Origins is 2/3 of a great movie.
Basically until he gets out of Weapon X.
Basically,
Yeah.
basically until the Deadpool reveal, I'm okay with it. And then Deadpool Baraka, I'm just like, nope.
Barakapul?
Yeah. Barack Opulo. There.
Niagara Falls. Right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Just like Superman 2.
Sucker.
You've listened to the Stephen Moyer Nerdist pod
Yeah.
interview where they credit him on not saying "suke" the entire
Yeah,
time.
and then he says it at the end. I feel like he's just like, yeah, man. He's like Stephen Moyer. I want to hang out with. He feel like he's like the coolest dude.
Mm.
He was in the when they did the live sound of the music.
Come on, Trap.
Yeah, he's good. I love his singing voice. He uses it in True Blood because True Blood, they're like, fuck it, we'll use whatever we want.
Do you know who wrote this movie?
No.
Stephen Moyer.
The voice of Solid Snake, David Hayter.
Mm.
He also wrote the draft of the screenplay draft of Watchmen that Alan Moore was the most impressed by, but didn't.
Which is to say, he only wiped his ass with it once.
Yeah.
He still does shit talk it, but he's like, it's the closest it comes.
David
know-
Hayter's a scriptwriter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can be multifaceted.
Damn.
Do you know the only adaptation that Alan Moore's ever given his blessing to of his work?
Swamp Thing?
Only when I laugh. Only when I smile. No, the Justice League Unlimited episode for The Man Who Was Everything.
Oh.
That's the only that's the only thing that he's given his blessing to.
The original.
I just remember really, when I was watching this in theaters, I'm like, none of this is like fun so far. This is all just a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
The
To be fair, the subtext of X-Men is that it sucks to be a mutant.
yeah.
Hey,
Hey, Famke Janssen.
I haven't seen you since GoldenEye. Or Faculty. Whichever one came second.
Now, you gotta think of introductions of
Faculty teams.
discovering you have mutant abilities. Who do you think had it worse when they discovered it? Rogue, of how they displayed it here, or Jubilee in the animated series?
Rogue.
Because Rogue almost kills somebody she's sweet on. Jubilee just fucks up an arcade.
Do you know how
And-
much this machine costs?
And her parents'
a
VCR.
quarter.
Yeah.
Ooh, and that was a big thing back in that day.
I was supposed to say, don't both of their parents just go apeshit on them when they find out they like have done something like that?
Yeah, but there's like electronics and there's like human life.
Yeah.
But one of the in the original draft, Beast and Nightcrawler were in it, but they were cut because the development time got cut by 6 months and the budget got cut too, which is why there isn't a lot of action in this one. Originally, it was supposed to be Beast addressing Congress, but they merged elements of Beast's character, basically the fact that Beast is a doctor and a politician, with Jean Grey.
That would have been cool to see if it was Kelsey Grammer because he's so great.
Which one is Hank McCoy name dropped? Is it this one?
Is he name dropped? Not just explicit. I think he's name dropped in 2, but obviously he's shown in 3.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think it's not until 2 that they reference.
Like they're overhearing a conversation on television, and Dr. Hank McCoy.
Yeah, it's like
name
played by
dropped.
a different person who's not Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
There was originally. We'll get that. I'll talk about Hank McCoy and fucking X-Men 2 and then next week.
But had they been casted for this one before they were dropped out, or just
No.
No, I think they just wanted to consolidate characters
okay?
Yeah.
because they realized we can't pay this many actors. We're Fox.
Yeah. We can't come up with
We have Patrick Stewart to pay.
costumes and makeup effects for a giant
And
cat man.
Sir Ian, Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah. I mean,
We can't afford anyone else,
Patrick Stewart was always the front runner for Professor X, but
and the only one as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
the Bryan Singer originally wanted, because again, as we mentioned in our Superman fan series or commentary series, he's such a hard-on Superman fan. He wanted Terrence Stamp to be Magneto.
I was about to say if you'd said
Christopher Reeve,
no, who played Jor-El?
Marlon Brando.
Brando?
Yeah, I
He
was about to say
dead
if it
by
was
this time.
Marlon
Ah.
Brando was like more.
I am not a big fan from coming from my art school days. I am not a big fan of where they have Patrick Stewart framed in his close-ups. He should be on the other side of the screen. Just because he's on, like in Magneto's close-up, he's on the other side of the screen. So for continuity's sake, like it's a little jarring.
Yeah.
But now it makes sense as to why they're on that side.
Had you been familiar with Ian McKellen before this film?
Not really. Yeah, I remember not really knowing who he was. Like, kind of recognizing him. Like,
It's primarily stage.
yeah.
what were some of the big things from Hollywood he'd done up until this point?
That song that
The Scarlet Pimpernel.
Is that it?
It's the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
the song that the one that Weird Al parodied to do Jurassic Park is Frightening in the Dark is sung by Ian McKellen.
I just meant like film.
Ah, yeah.
Anything he'd done.
Scarlet Pimpernel. They seek him here. They seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere.
The Scarlet Pimpernel. Oh, that was the voice of Optimus Prime, by the way. And the voice of Beast
Also the
from the
voice-
cartoon show.
yeah.
But for some reason, Optimus Prime was the first one that popped into my head.
Oh, this
The-
part's cool though.
Originally, it was supposed to be Jubilee, and then they erased it and were like, maybe let's make it Kitty Pryde. And they were like, no, Rogue's idea that she can't touch anybody makes it kind of speak more to the theme of alienation and isolation as a whole. And so that's why
Yeah.
Rogue gets the nod instead of Kitty Pryde or Jubilee in the film.
And then it very, very quickly becomes a Wolverine Rogue movie.
Well, I mean, Wolverine
cop
always
movie.
kind of has a nurture, like a kind of a father figure for both of Kitty Pryde and Jubilee in the animated series.
Yeah. And then definitely in this one for just Rogue.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, they just basically, in terms of the emotional arc, they just swap
and
it out.
And
Yeah.
this is what kind of causes most every X-Men movie to be an X-Men or a Wolverine story.
Yep.
That's one of my big complaints about the X-Men films is they
Weren't X-Men.
well,
just...
they're too Wolverine centric.
Yeah.
And he gets his own solo movies too, and it's like, weren't they all kind of Wolverine movies? But yeah,
It
but I
was
still
like-
enjoy
It was
them.
like it was like the opposite of what's happening with Captain
Yeah.
America: Civil War.
I love that shot.
Yeah.
The original Dougray Scott, the bad guy from Mission Impossible 2, was originally cast as Wolverine, but he dropped out to do Mission Impossible 2.
I like how you actually hear the clink of the adamantium.
Yeah,
I feel like they phased that out pretty quickly.
definitely.
But yeah, man. So if it wasn't for Mission Impossible 2, we probably would never have superstar Hugh Jackman.
He probably would have never gotten Les Mis.
All we would have seen him in is Kate and Leopold.
Might have just been.
That's a bad thing?
I'm just,
I'll
I
say.
love that film.
but is that all the Hugh Jackman you need?
I will say.
No, a sequel to that would be fine.
But I will say I was never bothered with Hugh Jackman being Wolverine. A lot of people complain that like he's too tall, and I get that. You have fanboys, you're going to complain about stuff, but I think he does a great job.
Because he's like 5'3" in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but isn't Hugh Jackman kind of...
He's like 6'2".
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they do a really good job in films of downplaying his height.
I feel like that might be a little intentional. Like that he's not towering over everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I always
but no.
thought he was a tiny fucker.
No.
No, he's
He's at the least he's portrayed as average height
You know
in
who-
these movies.
You know who Bryan Singer's original choice was for Wolverine?
Whom
Russell Crowe.
I know. People are always like Mel Gibson.
I'd be okay with that.
There's that fan art someone did of him.
Now, if Russell Crowe had done it, would he have ever been Jor-El in Man of Steel?
And
God.
is that a bad thing?
Move your head, Miss Lane.
That was always a cool shot.
Oh yeah.
You'll just piss him off if you do it.
I would say he's so young, but Hugh Jackman just doesn't age.
No. No. Neither does Wolverine.
Perfect for the role.
Coincidence?
Good foresight, Singer.
I want that jacket.
Sam kind of has that jacket.
I have the X-Men Origins jacket.
Still a good jacket.
It's a pretty sweet jacket.
Even if Josh doesn't like the movie.
Well, no, you were saying the Wolverine films are your favorites outside of Days of Future Past?
Yeah, and First Class, but yeah. Yeah.
First Class is a great movie with like 2 or 3 awful scenes.
Yeah.
You're Magneto.
And your Professor X.
Someone shoot her.
Beautiful Canada.
One thing I will say about this, they are very faithful to Wolverine being like 100% Canadian throughout this as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Except for his accent.
in the
Yeah.
Kitty Pryde of the X-Men cartoon, he's Australian. Luckily, that didn't get picked up to series, but the pilot's available online.
It's funny because Hugh Jackman's Australian.
Coincidence? Now poke it again just to make sure.
I feel like this is the first time Anna Paquin uses a southern accent.
Yeah, it's like little did you know she'd be using that for 7 seasons.
Sorry, Sookie.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back to Louisiana? Oh, God damn it, says Wolverine.
He's got that heart of gold. He doesn't want to admit it.
Kind of like how
So
there's
says the script.
kind of like how there's 3 they've written by David Hayter. Kind of just like there's 3 different versions of Thor's hammer. and 3 different versions of Cap's shield when they make the movies. You know, one for show, one for combat, and one for I guess heft.
Yeah.
There's 3 different versions of Wolverine's claws in this film.
Yeah.
Digital.
I'm trying to remember
Digital, plastic, and metal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the terms they use for those. I think hero is the physical ones that get used the most.
Like the actual heavy hammer and the... Oh, is that the heavy one? Is hero heavy?
Maybe just for show purposes, but I think
Yeah,
the one that gets
he
thrown around.
poses with,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. The one that he throws around is probably made out of like plastic.
Yeah.
They've got the plastic, the rubber, and the...
Hammer or rubber for hitting people.
Can't beat those stuntmen with real metal.
Nope. Or plastic.
Anna Paquin was always kind of annoyed that she's like, with the research where I was reading comics or looking at the animated series, Rogue had like super strength and could like fly. I never
Yeah.
got to do any of that.
But then it's like, yeah, but you want to know how she got those,
I
Anna?
still forget how she got that.
She drains Carol Danvers,
To a
Who's
really
Carol Danvers?
horrible level.
the current Captain Marvel,
What was she then?
Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay. So she was.
She was
But-
a Marvel.
Okay,
She-
gotcha. Sorry, I was just when you said current, like I didn't register like that it might be that she was Captain Marvel then and is again.
Yeah, she got the promotion to Captain.
Now, if I remember correctly, she puts Miss Marvel in a coma, right? Or outright kills her when she does it.
In the comics, she thinks she kills her,
Right? Yeah.
but it's later revealed that she just is in a coma and she gets her powers reactivated when she becomes binary.
Yeah, but is it?
In the animated series, she's in a coma,
Yeah, is it Mystique that made her think she killed her?
probably. Because
Sounds like a Mystique thing.
Yeah. And then
'Cause
basically,
she's evil.
Rogue has all of her memories from
Yeah.
that point on.
It
Like,
gives her-
can't get rid of them.
kind of gives her kind of like PTSD.
Yep.
We were talking over, but one of my favorite lines was when Rogue asked if it hurts when the claws come out. Which is something as a kid
She's
I
like,
always
does it
wondered,
hurt? Did it hurt the first time?
and he's like, it hurts every time. Which I feel like this movie plays up more than like any other movie.
In the original pitch for Wolverine, they were like, it's gloves that the claws come out, and
Yeah.
Chris Claremont was like, if that was the case, anybody could just put on the fucking gloves and become Wolverine.
I guess without the healing factor, that'd be a bummer. But I liked one
Are
thing
you?
in the Death of Wolverine where Reed Richards is one of the things. Like Logan loses his healing factor, and one of the simple things is that you forget with the guy with the healing factor is every time he retracts his claws, all that bacteria gets in, and that's something as simple that like he can't use the claws anymore for that fact that it would. The disease that he would, and then he does it anyway, and Reed's like, "Okay, well, fuck it."
Yeah, I can't stop.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
Of course, that's Sabretooth this time around is Tyler Mane
Yeah.
of Rob Zombie Halloween fame.
That's right.
Yep.
Is he the one that plays Michael Myers?
Michael Myers. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Big dude. Get a great shot of Cyclops and Storm coming up.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Also, the only time that Storm has kind of like an African accent.
Oh yeah, it's
At
so
least
weird.
as played by Halle Berry.
in this movie. Yeah, she loses it, which is probably for the best because it's terrible. But whatever. What are you gonna do?
Now, does this optic blast normally work like that, or is it just supposed to be like being hit by like a force?
It's a concussive blast, though. In the
So if it's really concentrated, it could break things like that.
But it looked like it caused like an explosion too when it hit the tree.
Yeah.
it could have just like caused like the impact could have caused the tree to splinter. I will say, X-Men Origins Wolverine. It looks like it's incendiary, which is
Yeah.
kind of like a nitpick. I mean, it doesn't take me out of the movie. There's plenty of other shit. But then hey, look, it's
Hey.
Ray Park.
Hey,
Snake
Darth
Eyes.
Maul. Also, the Headless Horseman when he's
Yeah.
headless.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
get to meet him at AwesomeCon. That'd be cool.
I did like that he was in this
That's right,
film
he's gonna be at
and had
AwesomeCon.
lines.
I need to tell
yeah.
Ken to bring his Star Wars Episode 1.
I always-
disc.
I always thought the frameless Newton's cradle was a nice designer touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, nice shirt, bro.
Yeah, the fact he can do all this and carry on a conversation, none of it stops.
In the original script, Pyro was supposed to be part of the Brotherhood of Mutants, but they didn't have the budget for it, which is why he comes back or they introduce him in the sequel.
I gotta say, it's been a long time since I watched this, but Hugh Jackman's performance is very interesting. Watching it after all these years with all the different, like, over the top,
Yeah.
super jacked Wolverine, I'm actually really enjoying rewatching just kind of a more
Grounded.
grounded Wolverine. Yeah,
Again, they didn't have the budget for big action scenes, so it's a very kind of... Not to mention, he was cast 3 weeks into
yeah, it's
production.
got to be late. Yeah, because Mr.
Yeah.
Doug Reese Scott.
Who's now married to Claire Forlani of Mallrats fame. Lucky Doug Ray Scott.
It all turns out in the end, Doug Reese Scott. I remember totally like jumping like a little boy when I saw that scene.
Again, that was supposed to be Beast, because he's like the big doctor figure.
That would have been much more entertaining to see like Beast.
Getting like headlocked by Buff as...
Yeah.
No, not
At
as
least
Buff.
least buff Hugh Jackman.
Still Buff.
Oh, still buff. I
but
mean,
not
I've-
super
I mean, he's still in better shape than
I've
Chris
never-
Jericho.
He's
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never been that in shape in my life ever. Also,
I don't think
yeah,
I could be in that
not
shape.
not as intense
You
facial.
never know
hair
until
either.
you try, Josh.
I feel like
Be normal size Chris Evans.
I feel
Again, what is normal size Chris Evans?
like the
Orig-
losers.
Originally going into pre-production, they thought about doing the original comic outfits, but they're like, that wouldn't translate. Just make it black.
And Bryan Singer still refuses to use like comic book outfits.
Yeah.
Really,
Missing a prime chance.
The
with
only
these
time
films.
it's referenced is the deleted scene in the Wolverine.
I know,
oh
and
yeah, that's the best outfit.
They reference it
Well,
later in this too.
Yeah,
they make
okay.
fun of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me rephrase then. Yeah, the only time you see it is the deleted scene in the Wolverine.
Yeah. But when fans saw that, they were like, dude, totally fucking do that. Because it's... I don't even think it's the yellow one. I think it's the...
Tan.
Yeah.
the best one. I remember. I don't remember.
You've got like one of the most iconic. It's not. It's a. I think it's a Hulk cover.
I have. Well, it says it's Todd McFarlane, where it's the Gray Hulk versus Wolverine, and his reflection of his claws is the Gray Hulk.
Yeah.
And then I also have Wolverine #1.
Oh, that's right. You got Wolverine #1 by Chris Claremont and Frank Miller.
Yeah,
I awkwardly met Chris Claremont at New York Special Edition last year.
I met him once
Do you
as
ever
well.
not awkwardly meet?
Most of.
Nothing beats me awkwardly meeting or not bumping into, but meeting J. Michael Straczynski and inadvertently cutting in front of a line of hundreds and not realizing it and walking away slowly like, I'm sorry, I love Earth One. I feel like this is the most, not in this scene, obviously, but they deal with his hair looking like Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I think starting with the third film, maybe the second, he started to wear kind of like extensions or a wig.
Oh, really?
To kind
That
of
makes sense. Yeah.
accentuate it.
But like this one, I feel like they go out of their way to give him Wolverine hair.
Yeah.
Or style it that way.
Hey, it's
Hey,
Kitty
look, it's
Pryde.
Kitty Pride.
And...
That was a trailer moment, I remember.
Yeah.
Not that, though.
He is a professor.
Yeah, what did he get his degree in? Was it teaching?
We'll find out in a bit. I thought it was because he writes his thesis on mutants.
Yeah.
Mutation.
He talks about it in First Class.
Yeah.
We can wait until then. It's only like 5-6 movies away. You know, I don't remember being annoyed at Halle Berry's wig when I first saw this movie, but in the 2 scenes that she's been in already I am annoyed.
We were 16 years younger. Chris.
Yeah, right. I didn't know what wigs were.
I don't think it's until the third film where she's using her natural hair.
Mm.
I can't wait for the Mohawk in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Jesus, we were like 14 years old when this movie came out. That's crazy.
We were the demographic.
I was a month shy. It was a July release,
What year was this released in?
2000.
I was 15.
Yeah.
Geezer.
The Wolverine calling Professor X Wheels was an ad lib by Hugh Jackman. In the original script, he goes, "What do they call you, Baldy?" And I guess he just decided to pick on.
You know what's funny is
I'm okay with that.
you know how earlier we were saying Burger King had the VHS deal with the X-Men animated show.
Yeah.
Burger King Kids Club. There was a kid in a wheelchair. His name was Wheels.
Yeah.
Boom! It all ties together.
What was the name of the
Kid Vid.
of the handicapped member of the Extreme Ghostbusters?
Josh.
Oh.
As in asking Josh, not implying that was his name.
I want to say it was either Kyle or Garrett.
The Rocky montage starts. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, look, it's not Nightcrawler.
The
Jesus.
in the basketball scene, they originally wanted to have Gambit playing basketball and accidentally overcharge a ball. But then Bryan Singer was like, audiences that don't know what the X-Men are just going to be like, what's wrong with the basketballs at this school? And that's why he cut the Gambit cameo.
That's fine. Then he got there. Then we got to, hey, look, it's Jubilee.
That one looked a lot like the one they have for Apocalypse too, at Jubilee.
Yeah. There's your, I guess, Pyro cameo. And Shawn Ashmore.
Yeah, he was in the TV show version of the Animorphs book series.
And Smallville. And the following.
And a rivalry was born.
Was that
And
that's not-
recast.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say that's not the same kid that plays Pyro in part 3.
Yeah.
2 and 3.
But
Oh,
that's
still,
right,
a
yeah.
rivalry was born. One was just a lot more successful than the other.
That a CW show was born.
I'm so happy that relationship doesn't last.
Right?
Yeah, it does. The Rogue Iceman relationship?
Yeah. No, what are you talking about?
Yeah. It lasts.
Days of Future Past, it doesn't.
Well, she's gone. When you see the...
She's barely in Days of Future Past.
yeah, she's in
Especially if you watch the theatrical cut.
in the theatrical cut, they're both leaving the school together when Wolverine wakes up at the end. Which means his relationship with Kitty Pryde never really blossoms.
Yeah.
Where you're shipping Kitty Pryde and Iceman.
Just because it's in your head canon doesn't mean it's real. What's his
Yes,
name?
it
The guy
does.
that made Gravity Falls made a huge Twitter post about that. He's like, headcanon's cute and all, but fuck you.
I'm trying to, because they use this estate for something else, and I'm trying to remember. Smallville. That's right.
Lex's mansion.
Yeah.
Also, the former home of Oliver Queen.
Yeah, they use this a lot.
Just up for rent, guys.
It's basically up for whatever billionaire pays the most.
Yeah, Smallville, you see a lot of it, especially in the early seasons.
Yeah.
Because, Clark just kind of hangs out at Luthor Mansion. And then a lot of shit goes down,
I mean,
goes down.
he's got nothing better to do. It's not like the world needs saving in that show.
Not yet, just Smallville.
Yeah.
And then Metropolis needs saving, and then the world needs saving.
Yep.
Baby steps. That guy. What's his deal?
And when you're Oliver Queen, only the city needs
get an
saving.
interview with that
Helicopter door closer. That'd be a good interview for us, that one podcast.
I was there, too.
there, too.
Ready for the
Typical
sexiest
senator.
movie?
Was she still Rebecca Romaine Stamos when this
Yeah.
movie came out?
Yeah, man. She said that to keep away from scoopers, they would have her in between shooting in like a private room. She's like, I was separated from the rest of everybody. I was fucking miserable for this one.
Hey, that probably helped the X-Men thing, like
Yeah.
the
Is
that-
isolation.
Bryan Singer? No.
I wish.
For
I mean,
a split second, it looked like him, and I was like, wait.
Has he cameoed in any of his?
Not in any
these?
of his own that I know of, but
He cameoed in House.
and Star Trek Nemesis.
Right, okay.
He's in like the first episode of House. I think he's like,
He directs it too, I think.
yeah,
Jurassic Park.
but I think he's like either like not the victim, but like a friend of the victim in the opening scene. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean,
Apparently, there was over 100 pieces of prosthetics, so it would
Pretty
take her
amazing.
it would take her like 6 hours to get into makeup.
Is she Batman?
They also,
That
I
voice?
feel like they also toned down the voice.
yeah.
I
Now,
always was a little
granted-
uncomfortable with how she manhandled everyone.
Too sexual, Josh.
like Sam was saying, Mystique's outfit, or basically lack thereof, is pretty astounding in terms of like makeup. I always thought though Mystique's outfit in the comics was like fucking badass.
Oh, with the
skull
skull
death head, the
belt.
skull, yeah.
Yeah, like making her pretty much like
I mean-
naked and handling everyone with her feet nonstop. It's like,
I mean, they're not
does
dumb.
It does make sense though. Never mind.
But again-
I was gonna say it like makes sense that she wouldn't be able to morph clothes, but
She does.
just fucking did. So
But the
never
idea of,
mind.
like,
the
the-
fuck you, Brian Singer.
the
Yeah.
naked body being like the chalkboard, you know, where you can create whatever. And also, look, they're not dumb. It's Rebecca Romaine Stamos, you know, to be like a selling point. They're like, hey, this beautiful woman.
And that's fine because we also have half naked Hugh Jackman. So
Hey, that's what I'm screaming.
yeah, but I don't think anyone was complaining about that.
You're the only one complaining about naked Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
I would have preferred the classic outfit.
Well, we didn't get anyone's classic outfits.
I kind of feel like
Which is his only mutant ability.
now, obviously, this isn't the first of that case.
Heightened senses.
Like a Wolverine.
Mhm.
He can smell things.
But is
And here,
He's the mascot for Michigan.
I thought that was just part of like the body just repairing itself so well that his senses just get so attuned.
I thought it was kind of like he's kind of got like a feral side.
Yeah, I was under the impression that it's
That's a
that.
cool
It's just-
fucking picture.
So he has two mutant abilities?
I mean, plenty of people have multiple.
Emma Frost
abilities.
is a telepath and can turn into diamonds.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Professor X is a telepath and a telekinetic.
I
Shine
didn't think
bright
he
like
actually
a diamond.
could
It's very
physically manipulate objects like Jean does.
not to the same level as Gene.
Yeah.
Hey, make a gross noise, Senator Kelly. Thanks,
Yeah.
because I needed that.
Now that was A+ acting. Where's that man's Oscar?
That means there's a bunch of takes of him just reacting to the bird getting eaten.
Yeah. And that was the best one.
I was gonna say, the line we mentioned about like the yellow spandex thing. Granted, it wasn't the first time this happened, but I feel like maybe for us, that was the first time in a movie for like comic fans where they're like, "Oh, we know that." Like that's something that other people don't read comics wouldn't understand. Like that, I feel like that was a big
Yeah,
moment
That was
for
a nice
like,
wink.
yeah.
an Easter egg that everyone would have missed.
Was
And
it
I-
an Easter egg?
And I was never. I mean, I watched the X-Men animated cartoon. Thought it was great. I remember there's this toy I still have of Cyclops that he came with like an Uzi, which is weird. And Wolverine came with a gun too. They were like pretty big, and it was based off the animated series. So my brother was always big into Wolverine. I was big into Cyclops. So this was a big deal seeing it. But I never was a big comic reader of the X-Men. I have read, Wolverine though. I always thought this whole thing was just a fucking disaster. For Senator Kelly, it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just meant this plot point in the film.
The original plot point, because Joss Whedon wrote a script for this, just like he did Alien Resurrection. His script had the Brotherhood of Mutants, try to conquer the island of Manhattan, which is why the action takes
that would
place.
have been good.
Oh, it's why the action takes place on Liberty Island at the end of the film.
God,
and
that would have
everything.
been so better than
This.
Now, if I understand correctly, he's basically using magnetic waves to recode DNA here.
To make Senator
right?
Kelly a mutant.
Does that make any sense? Even in a comic book world of using magnetic waves to rewrite DNA?
Sure.
Fine.
No, I'm seriously asking.
he's basically-
Can
I mean,
Yeah.
magnetic waves do that?
This
Who
is a
knows?
movie where a man is covered in adamantium and shoots.
Yeah,
shit out
that
of
woman
his
right
hands.
there can turn into
Clothes.
different people. Yeah, and can morph clothes.
Well,
That's her power. She can turn into clothes. Like she can't change her
Just a
face.
pile of
But
clothes.
she's like,
Again,
like that new Abercrombie sweater.
accommodating Wolverine's mutant abilities and plating animadium to his skeleton, I can understand that. Her
Okay.
mutant ability, I can understand that. But using magnetic waves to rewrite
Gotcha.
DNA,
That's
though.
where you draw the line. That's where it gets ridiculous.
Yeah, even for a ridiculous film.
Look at his
You make
sideburns.
no sense to me. That's where I draw the line.
What kind of line are we talking about?
A line of cocaine.
It's a fine line. That fucking Paul McCartney song where he plays all the instruments and the video is just him playing all the instruments and it's awesome. I can listen to that song again. It's so good.
You're okay with a guy being able to shoot concussive light beams out of his eyes.
Well, he's not because he hates Cyclops. Remember,
Right. No.
I'll give him that.
Don't give him fuel.
Yeah, he's wrong.
Give me
Unlike
fuel,
Cyclops.
give me fire, give me
You're
that which I
fine.
desire.
You're fine with a guy being able to manifest ice in his hand and another guy being able to manifest fire.
Well, he can just manipulate the flame.
Thank you, Sam.
He has to have the.
Sorry, it's not until X2 that he can form fire in his hands.
He doesn't
Or
form.
no, he can't even. Yeah, he still can't even do
No.
it. He's a punk ass
Yeah,
bitch.
he has to have the little like. Chicka
You know
thing
what?
on
Never
his hand.
mind. Fuck pyro.
He's a pyrokinetic, not a pyro.
I love his outfit
genesis.
in the
Yeah.
animated series.
He's no Drew Barrymore.
He's all.
I'm a fire starter.
Cool shades, bruh. I like this.
I
part.
wanted his sunglasses for so long.
I still want to say it's like Matt Murdock stuff. Shit. I just like Cyclops. My favorite. I used to remember we used to always joke with Sam about like I never liked like free flowing hair Cyclops. I always liked when he had like the hood, you know, like the full on hood. Like I had this really cool action figure. I had a bunch of Cyclops action figures for a guy that never really read the X-Men but watched the animated series. This is awkward.
Yeah.
The
Logan, what's up?
this scene's fucking crazy. But yeah, you could flick like there was a switch in his back, and his eye would light up. But it was, and Sam, you could probably help me what outfit this is from. It was the hooded Cyclops, blue, and he had a giant white X on his chest.
It's the X Factor, kind
Okay.
of like 80s, like late 80s, early
Yeah,
90s.
I feel like-
in the
let me
in the Infinity Gauntlet, that's the outfit Cyclops is wearing.
Okay, because that I had that action figure. That was like my favorite Cyclops look. Let me look it up real quick, just for shits and gigs. I was like a dark side earlier.
Let this be a lesson, children. Never try to wake up anyone with PTSD.
This is how you react when somebody tries to wake you up.
Oh yeah, that Cyclops outfit's fucking money, dude. Yes.
Good thing you noticed that he has a healing factor.
And you think by touching him might be the trick. Yet you're not quite sure.
That's the face he makes all throughout Les Mis. Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God, what
some
have
face.
of bread.
I what have I done? Oh my God, what have I
To
done?
Jesus, what have I done? Become a thief in the night, become a dog on the run. That's still my
Ugh.
favorite Jackman performance.
There's your super skinny actor there, Josh. Whoever that kid in the tank top is.
What if Cyclops' t-shirt just had Cyclops on it?
I love us just.
He drew an X on it.
She's just been, at that point, pretty much mortally wounded.
No one saw that.
Touches him, and then it's like, oh, I'm perfectly fine now. Don't worry. It was a complete accident. It's like, shouldn't you still be in shock?
I mean, she kind of left in a huff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
but
might
it's
be
like,
not processing what happened.
You know
Weird
what-
kid.
You know what? This movie's great for real. You get to see pajama Professor X.
Not almost as good as Walter Blunt, Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that would have made this better is if he had like the nightcap with the little.
From
Speaking of the Walter Blunt thing, a little TMI. I was using the restroom and the little toilet seat thing. I was gonna use that, and I couldn't stop thinking of the fucking episode where he
Of
can't get
Blunt
it to
Talk,
work.
yeah.
I'll just leave it to that for the viewers. YouTube that shit.
It's not on YouTube.
Oh, it's not.
You got to get the full season.
Oh,
Or
How
buy
does
the
he know?
They don't have, like,
what
the
his
clip on
mutant
the-
power is.
I
Or
think
is
he's
he just like
he's just leaning
figuring
against
it
it.
out
And he's
and-
just like, I'm a fish man.
Does this movie have sea life? Yes.
Does it have birds?
Mm.
Wait,
Does it
It's
have
got a black
J.K.
bird.
Simmons?
I'm free.
If you count a blackbird as a bird, it's got one.
the original designs, they had his skin translucent, so you would see his like torso organs.
Yeah,
I
And-
do like this bridge.
that's pretty cool.
Hey,
At least
look,
cut
there's
it
birds.
pretty close.
Oh no, those are metal.
Yeah.
my mistake.
Oh, there was a bird. A pigeon gets eaten.
Oh yeah,
By a
there was a
toad.
bird.
So score. James Hetfield.
Give him the Hetfield hug.
Yeah. You'd be that fucking intense about it.
The circus?
Work for Nightcrawler. But yeah, they thought it was too gross to see his like translucent organs, and so they're like, just make it so he's kind of a slimy fish man.
I guess they like. There's a
Saber-tooth
very
whale.
small moment of that where like he's coming out of the ocean. Like you don't really see like
Yeah.
this straight up translucent.
Yeah.
I like how pissed Magneto is here.
Not pissed, just disappointed.
Wait for it.
Oh, no, there it is.
Acting.
Yeah.
And I like this.
MGM. It's like Jaws.
Kill it, kid. Kill it.
You shouldn't touch them; they might kill you.
That's why he should just kill it now.
He sees this man's translucent dick. Well, I think we get our first Stan Lee Marvel cameo here too.
Do we?
I think this is the first
Was
one.
that him right there?
Yeah.
That was him.
Ah.
There he is.
I also think this is, if
Oh, yeah.
I remember correctly, I think this is the last thing they shot for the film. I'm just gonna take this.
This is mine.
I was gonna die, you ignorant little shit.
Wait for it. Sucker. It's like Thriller.
At what point was the Brotherhood searching for Rogue? Or was aware of her?
We don't see when they first find out about her, but the big reveal, spoilers if you haven't watched this movie before, why the fuck are you listening to the commentary? That aside, they aren't hunting the mutant they're hunting for was never Wolverine. It was Rogue.
Yeah, that's the big twist where he's just like...
Because when they confront him, he's like, "Here I am." They're like, "We weren't ever coming for you."
And then Wolverine does something very stupid. He looks down right at Rogue to be like, "There she is, boys."
I mean, to be fair, he never was the brightest.
It's wild. At the time this movie came out, and I guess at the time... No, just this one. At the time this movie came out, Patrick Stewart wasn't done playing Jean-Luc Picard yet.
Oh, damn.
Oh, really?
Because Nemesis is 2002.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I wasn't even thinking about the movies. Come on, Chris.
Come on, Chris, get your head in the game.
God, get
Get your head in the game. Yes, I'm so glad we all knew that.
I guess it's a good thing this was really successful then, so he had a career afterwards.
You don't watch Blunt Talk, Josh?
Extras,
What?
even though he was only in one episode.
What network again is Blunt Talk on?
Showtime.
Yeah, I just continued my subscription to that.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I have the first season.
Joke's on you.
I've seen as much Blunt Talk as I have The Flash.
He's also in...
I'm not proud of this.
he's also in the voice of basically
Avery.
Patrick Stewart
Yeah.
in American Dad.
Dude, is that DMX?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that Scott Stapp?
That was Scott Stapp. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Mutants. That's kind of a cool transition, even for being 16 years old.
Which train station?
The train station that's a few miles west from here.
Penn Station. Because why not?
You know, at this point, Halle Berry hasn't been a Bond girl yet.
True, yeah.
Or an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
If only she had never
You
been
knew
a
who had
Bond
been an
girl.
Oscar winner by this point, though. Anna Paquin.
What, for Fly Away
Oh,
Home?
wait for the face. When he fucking hits the turbo. It's just... Where's this... There it is. And then I think there's one more if he's just like smiling.
You know who Bryan Singer originally approached to do the score for this?
That's Jake's O-face.
That's his Ghost Rider face. Just go on.
Yeah.
What's it? Bryan Singer originally wanted John Williams to score X-Men, but he said no.
Fair enough.
And so he gave it to John Ottman, who he worked with on
pretty good
Usual
score.
Suspects.
Pretty good score.
Pretty good score, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da, yeah.
Again, I really do like the Wolverine
Rogue dynamic.
dynamic in this, yeah.
I like the Wolverine versus Wolverine dynamic, too.
We'll get there. I say that a lot.
To yourself.
In the mirror.
Just,
And then
just
does
your
it all
hand
over again.
to your Star Wars toy collection.
Yeah, every night.
I just look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I'm sorry about this. All this.
Remember this?
Get out of here. Yeah.
This is your favorite scene?
Yeah. My favorite moment that wasn't supposed to happen. Happy accident, as they say.
If you saw a gentleman walking around a train station with an eye get up like that, would you question it or just be like, yeah,
Not in New York.
pretty cool?
The moment, just so you guys can appreciate when it happens, there's a little kid that, oh, God. There's a little, Jesus.
I know, I'm turned on.
Terminator 2 looks better than, anyway. I mean, that's because it's great fucking shit. Anyway, there's a kid that's about to look up at Cyclops, and Cyclops looks down at him, and in the script, they're just supposed to look at him, but the kid's favorite character in the comics is Cyclops, and he couldn't stop smiling, and so they kept the kid's honest reaction in, and James Marsden's reaction was a smile back at the kid, and I thought that was a fun little moment.
The only boy you ever kissed. Let's be honest.
Yeah, come on, it's okay. It's all right. She gets Stephen Moyer and Skarsgård. And Joe Manganiello. He gets treated like shit on that show. He's such a good wolf. Such a good wolf. You know, see what's stupid about True Blood? I was so bummed to find out that they were like the werewolves just looked like wolves, and they weren't like. There's an actual name for it, like two, like they stood up like humanoid werewolves. I was hoping it would be like that, but it wasn't. I was actually really disappointed. That's when I was like,
So it's like Twilight status.
yeah. But Joe Manganiello was cool. Also, probably would have been super expensive.
HBO can, yeah, all that HBO money is going to Game of Thrones. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't have said that scene with the kid. I thought that happened like right after I said it, but I guess there's a
Hugh Jackman's reaction to the train being ripped open is genuine.
Oh, really?
Because in the script, the only thing that happens is the train stops and the door opens. Like in Magneto forces the door open. In the movie, as we're about to see, they like when the first time they filmed it, like fucking rips open, and he was just like, "Oh." So that's a genuine reaction you're about to see from Hugh.
Here it is.
He's like, "You look really silly, mister, but I can't show it."
You're supposed to be my favorite superhero, mister.
It was Cyclops, the trendsetter for the nondescript hat. Get out of my way, bitch.
Now, is that an honest reaction?
Rob Zombie sees this and is like, good.
Yeah.
Good. Him.
Make a good Michael Myers. It's only, what, 6 years later? I feel like that was a trailer moment, too.
Oh, man. That was a bad effect shot right
That
there.
was pretty bad.
Oh!
Oh no, the lightning's being attracted by your fillings.
Give me that Tim the Ripper Owens, like
Yeah.
aria.
You know what happens with a saber tooth when it's struck by lightning?
I feel like this movie does have the most lines for Ray Park ever.
Yeah. 'Cause
At like 5.
Definitely not
Yeah.
Snake Eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or fucking Phantom Menace where he's dubbed by Peter Serafinowicz.
Mm.
It's
My
really only
favorite
that one
member
scene,
of
right?
the that's like 2 scenes.
Or Sleepy Hollow?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he doesn't talk. But
Oh, yeah, that's some honest face acting right there. Like, what the...
Am I in a movie? Or a
This
theme
is-
park ride?
It's his first major Hollywood production, so this
Yeah.
is probably a big new experience for Hugh at the time.
So is this next scene, probably.
It does.
This happens a lot to Wolverine where he just gets flung out and he's just like, bye. That's a bummer.
This hurts.
Does anyone get more, like, fucked up in the comics than Wolverine?
Well, their thing is like he can heal. Let's fuck him up.
Oh, yeah,
some
yeah.
hard.
Well, like, I remember Uncanny X-Force, like,
Oh yeah.
he gets fucked
He gets
up.
like all the cancers.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you want her? Is it in
You
Uncanny
mean I'm
X-Force?
not the star?
Oh, I always thought that was like out of all the things that happened, that hurt the most for Wolverine. Like that's so stupid.
Not like the fact that he gets like cut up like a mother, or he has to stab himself. in
yeah,
front
I
of-
remember that. Yeah, but I mean in that scene, like they fucking pull his claws apart in that scene. I was like, yeah. No, but anyway, is it Uncanny X-Force? Is it the Blob sits on Wolverine and he cuts him, or is it because Deadpool? I remember asking, he was like, "Were you like, was he in you or were you in him?" I can't remember if it's like Wolverine gets like. Goes up in fucking the Blob because the Blob sits on him. I can't remember if it's Wolverine.
David
Cool.
Hayter cameos as one of the cops here.
Drop the bass.
Oh, the only way I could tell if he spoke and sounded like Solid Snake.
Metal Gear. Infinite ammo.
I remember this was a scene that a lot of people, when the movie was over, was talking about this scene.
Kind of like how, there's that scene where I pointed out earlier where Senator Kelly makes a black noise. There's a scene where the dude gets the bullet like twisting in his head and he like screams, and I thought that was dumb.
I like that he has Toad as Cyclops' eye thing as like a souvenir.
Why don't you have Sabretooth take off his helmet? Okay.
Can you read my mind?
This son of a bitch right here.
That was a trailer moment too.
Now-
I want to say, or at least the guns at their faces.
Yeah, if I'm understanding correctly, it can't be Charles that's
For some
stopping that
reason, I
bullet,
just thought
right?
that was no. It's Jean Grey.
Okay.
That's why. I mean, he just said like she can't stop them all.
Yeah.
Oh, he said she can't. Okay.
I think.
Mm.
Yeah, it can't be Charles.
It's not Charles. I always thought it was I Can't Stop Them All, but either one.
Yeah, I
Makes
thought it was
sense.
I
Did
can't.
he say I can't stop?
Yeah.
Well, we can't stop the music.
I fly helicopters. I mean, you could have just opened the door.
Yeah, now
Let's
you're just
be fucking
posturing.
real. Yeah.
You don't
That's-
even have to use your hands. You can
Yeah.
just kind of look at it.
That's-
You guys realize it gets progressively worse as the films go on, right?
I've seen
With
them.
I like the part where he pulls the iron out of the dude's blood. It was very
Oh,
reminiscent of
yeah.
Fatal Attraction. Or, yeah? Fatal-
the X-Men storyline, Fatal Attractions.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
Where he rips the adamantium
Not
out
not
of
the Michael
Wolverine.
Douglas movie.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't
If
remember
only.
that in that movie. I mean, I know Michael Douglas is talented, but
He rips the adamantium out of Wolverine in the movie Fatal Attraction.
It's out of place, but it's there.
I always thought that was just the producer's cut. But
Yeah. It's Fatal Attraction 1.0 or 1.5.
the Wolverine cut.
Yeah.
The-
Oh, here's some
Road
really
cut.
bad accent coming up here.
X-Man. My favorite X-Men.
I think I have the first issue of X-Men or X-Man. No, Cyclops is right, as Chris always likes to point out.
Mm-hmm. So wait, she's using an accent?
Mm-hmm. But
Trying to.
not in the rest of them.
I do have X-Man #1.
I think I have it in my Age of Ultron like trade paperback like thing. Not a doctor, just a professor. He only has a master's degree.
Not all mutants.
Hashtag. This only hurts the first time. And then he just kisses his forehead.
Senator, I can see your penis.
I like what I see.
Well done, well done.
I will make it so.
Number one.
Now, this probably had everyone confused.
Yeah.
Like-
why can he stand?
Why does he stand so awkwardly?
It's been a long time since he's been able to get out of a chair. I'm sure he's not used to it.
It's been a long time since a rock and roll. brother.
I'd rather fight the future.
Ooh. It's an X-Files movie.
The only one you should give a shit about.
You know,
Both were good.
it's if you're watching it all at once, I Want to Believe is fine. The problem is when you wait 10 years for I Want to Believe to come out and you hear the title is I Want to Believe and therefore you assume it's about aliens.
It's a mythology episode.
Yeah, no, it's a monster of the week.
Yeah.
And it's
I haven't seen it in years.
and it's only like half an hour longer than a normal episode would have been, so
How did you know that?
because the sweaty man told me.
How's it going? Oh, I don't know. I'm about to turn into fucking goo. Ah!
Now watch me die, painfully and agonizingly.
Look me in the eyes while I finish.
You realize we have bedpans for that, right, Senator?
It's weird to think because we'll never see it because of like Fox and MCU, but she's Black Panther's ex-wife.
Mm.
In the comics, yeah.
Yeah.
When were they married?
They get married during comic Civil War. Like one of the Black Panther tie-ins is the he's turning into goo. Oh. Goodbye, Senator.
That's what I look like when I come.
He's like, I ain't fucking cleaning that up.
I'm gonna go fucking
I wasn't
make
here. I wasn't here.
Gonna make
Alibi.
a Catwoman movie.
The
No.
worst Catwoman movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go run off and ruin my acting career.
She gets the Razzie right after she gets the Oscar, and she's one of the few people to accept her Razzie in person.
Didn't Sandra Bullock do it?
She
too?
did it too, yeah.
Yeah, but no one cares.
Hometown hero Sandra Bullock.
From Arlington. They get Storm and Black Panther get married during Civil War and divorced during Avengers versus X-Men because, I mean...
Yeah, yeah. It kind of writes itself.
Yeah.
I don't want your Civil War. Someone put Kool-Aid in my...
He's listening to the Hotter Than Hell, and he's like, the production is so bad. Parasite could have been the best song ever.
Wow, a computer virus.
It's pretty
Gave
good.
him a virus.
I don't know about you, but that's where I draw the line in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
Oh, okay.
Just flush it down the toilet. There we go. Okay.
All better.
Yeah. It's so simple, even I can do it.
I feel like that was originally a Beast scene.
Probably,
Like
yeah.
Beast fixes
It's
Cerebro.
I didn't know about that, so yeah, a lot of it now it's just so clearly like, oh, that would be Beast.
Don't do it, Gene.
And then
But
Jean.
then this is Gene.
Yeah, because Jean's the other telepath, because they don't have Psylocke.
Only the penitent man will pass.
But she's not as powerful a telepath, correct?
Psylocke? No. Jean Grey's not as powerful as Professor X. So
I thought she had the potential to be far more powerful.
it kind of, this is what triggers her like phoenixdom,
Mm-hmm.
which gets elaborated on the next two movies.
God, that plot line.
Yeah, man. The Phoenix stuff was always, even in the comics, was always kind of weird to me.
I love the comic, and especially
It's-
the animated show run
It's
versions of
essentially
it.
it's essentially the Parallax in Green Lantern.
Kinda, yeah. I mean,
Like,
Yeah.
or like
she's
a-
corrupted
an
by
analog.
the power. Yeah,
Well, yeah, an alien entity.
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas in the films, they make it a kind of like a subconscious power thing.
Yeah, it's like a split personality.
Yeah, you
that's
see.
evil.
Yeah, like
It's like-
Professor X kind of tries to repress it in the
Wait, does
first.
this guy get squashed to death?
Basically.
Hello.
Oh no, there's another guy gets like stepped on to death.
He gets spinal cracked.
Yeah.
Spinal
To like
bifida.
nothing. Wait a second.
Whoa, movie trickery.
Wait a second.
I wonder
I'm
if those guys were
dead.
played by twins.
Oh, like T2 style.
Yeah.
Must be my lucky day.
Call to John. Call to John now.
There it is.
Snake Eyes.
Does do another one.
I didn't think he was that strong.
I mean,
It's a full-grown man jumping on you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Strength of a
Regardless,
full-grown
regardless,
toad.
that's around 200 pounds falling on your back at whatever acceleration he's falling at.
Yeah, especially like I could try jumping on one of you guys. I'm pretty certain I wouldn't crush you.
I don't know. At a
You're what, 130 soaking wet?
With like $10
pounds
worth of
weight.
change in my pocket.
So 120?
You're still being generous there.
okay, so you're over 100 pounds.
About 100.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wait, you're seriously like
Okay, don't worry about it. Just believe it's physically possible.
Just buy it. Yes. See? Magneto agrees.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks, Eric.
There's a period in the comics where they tried to call him like Magnus, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Magnus?
Yeah.
He, like legally changed his name?
Like there's like Charles would be like Magnus, and I'm just like, blow it out your ass.
Yeah.
In fact, House of M, that event, the technical title is House of Magnus.
You think we'll ever get that film?
House of M?
I mean, rights-wise...
Rights-wise,
It'd
and-
have to be a different character, right?
Well, the central character in House of M is Wolverine, so it's perfect for 20th Century Fox. He's the only one that knows that something, at least initially, that something's wrong.
Right, but I meant, like, the catalyst for that event.
I mean, they still have, like, they
They
split rights with Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch and Silver Auto.
Quicksilver?
Quicksilver, Jesus Christ, yes.
I thought Oh, so Fox owns Scarlet as well?
Yeah, they're brother and sister. They're a
They
package
can,
deal.
They can just never address them being obviously part of the Avengers. Just
And the Avengers can never call them mutants.
Yeah, or address their parentage.
Which is why they made some which is why in the comics there's like some conjecture over whether or not Magneto is actually their father.
I think during Rick Remender's run on Uncanny Avengers, they suggest that they're actually products of the High Evolutionary.
Right.
And everyone was like, Rick
Oh, hey,
Remender. Yeah.
There's the basketball that exploded.
Yeah. What's up with that basketball? It's affected by gravity.
So what's down with that basketball?
We've never seen them take off on it before, even though they've gone on missions.
We've never seen them do it at night.
How do you think they got that?
Same way they got the fucking suits and lab and mansion.
Oh, I think we skipped the line that I was referring to earlier, but about the blue and yellow spandex.
It's coming. I think is it coming?
No,
here?
I think
happened.
Yeah, it was while it was like the first shot of like Wolverine like being like, this suit doesn't fit, and Cyclops is like, what, would you prefer blue and yellow spandex?
Looks right at the audience.
Winks.
Yeah, just like in the first episode of Fuller House when they're like, oh, Michelle's in New York working on her fashion career.
You finished that show, didn't you?
No, I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes into it.
I did.
Jake did though.
Jodie Sweeting. Sweeten. It's not ready.
I can't handle that.
I need to record Saint Anger.
Yeah.
I need to go to therapy so I can have
I
the.
need to flush it out. Flush it out.
I need to wear a mask and stab a bunch of people.
Shoot me again. I ain't dead yet.
Shoot me again. Shoot me again.
I said, shoot me again.
Shoot me. Oh God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That's CG.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm glad that he apologized for it.
Yeah. Scott, come on, bro.
I'm with Logan. That was no landing.
They were saying that the more they acted in the suits, because obviously the first time they wore them, they weren't stretched out, and they were like, it got better as the shoot wore on because they kind of broke them in, I suppose.
It's like a baseball glove.
Claws and all.
Joss Whedon says that out of his X-Men script, there's only 2 lines that really exist, or that survived.
Kind of like what he says with. Kind of like what he says with Alien Resurrection.
It's like RoboCop.
That one's for you, Scott.
This one's for you, Morph.
I can turn into Lady Liberty. It's a power.
Hey, look, it's a Ghostbusters 2 reference.
Your love.
I don't see an NES advantage.
What did you like to know where it's hiding?
Yes.
Presumably inside her head.
Would that actually do any damage?
I feel like it would still be sharp, but it's not like indestructible, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if she can do clothes,
Again, not indestructible.
But she felt it.
yeah, it's part of her.
Yeah, you'll see when she transforms, those become fingers.
Ladies.
Lick it up. Lick it up. Going right now.
I think it's like the only time Toad as a character ever actually was
I feel like that was
impressive as a
ad-lib.
fighter.
This weird power he's about to do right here.
That's a Toad thing, right?
Sure. I think he can. I don't know.
No, I just meant in general for Toad.
Yeah, I'm not like the world's biggest fucking like Toad expert. I know that during Jason Aaron's run, he became the janitor of the X school. We're about to get a
I feel like that was in one of the cartoon shows as well.
maybe Wolverine and the X-Men. Give me
Yeah.
a Darth Maul pose. Thank you.
Yeah. A year before.
A year after.
A year. Oh yeah, no, that's right. The Laserdisc came out the year after.
You're still standing.
And she didn't lose any of her fingers.
Well, I mean, she can morph things. Who's to say she can't?
Then where did those claw bits come from?
Yeah, we don't know what those claw bits are on the ground currently look like. Toenails? I don't know. Hair? Who fucking knows? She should theoretically have less mass.
Well, you know what? When you meet Bryan Singer, you can ask him. That can be your
Good
one.
idea.
That can be your one question.
Yeah, if you don't want to talk to him about Jack the Giant Killer, you could talk to him about the first X-Men. Did anybody actually see Jack the Giant Killer?
No,
I mean, I didn't.
I'm pretty sure no one did.
Judging by the box
Was that a
office.
movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
directed by Bryan Singer.
Who was in it?
Nicholas Holt.
Oh, that one.
It came
God,
out.
that came and went.
Came out while I was living in New York. I know that for sure.
I mean, he went on to play Beast, so worked
Yeah.
out for one
Lord
of them.
Raiden.
Or lightning. This is one of the
Worst lines in the movie.
and one of the only Joss Whedon lines to survive. But according to Joss Whedon, he's like, the context of my, writing of it was just kind of an offhand line, like what happens to a toad what happens to a toad struck by lightning, anything else. Whereas in this movie, they kind of kind of ham-fistedly deliver it.
Make it a badass line that's not badass at all.
I think the thing that's like a bummer is like the scene leading up to that line is cool, like seeing her fly up in the elevator and be like badass.
No, but please educate me.
In fact, I think the line would have the same thing that happens to everything else would have worked better after he was struck.
Yeah.
They reference
What's the punchline?
They reference it in the first X-Men Legends, because there's a scene where if you have Storm in your party and you confront Toad, she's interrogating him and she threatens him with that line. And he's like, okay.
I think when she's like dying Mystique here, you see like her turning all the different things, and you see one of the things is Wolverine, and the claws like turn into fingers that go inside of her hand, which is weird. Burn.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad they brought her back for the sequels.
Mm-hmm. My heart.
My boob.
I will marry Jerry Connell.
I think of Jennifer's body. My tit.
Mm.
And the crowd goes wild.
That was another Whedon line to survive. I feel like the context is basically the same.
Yeah. And it's done perfectly by Jackman and Marsden.
I mean, anytime you're trash talking Summers, yep.
What did he do to you? What did
Where
Cyclops
on the doll?
do to you?
Show me on the doll.
Do you blame him for why you don't like Superman Returns?
I like Superman Returns.
Yeah, okay. What's the problem?
Is it the Notebook?
Or was it? Or do
I
you
never
just,
saw it, but sure.
or do you just hate the fact that he gets an off-screen death in The Last Stand?
Oh, that's my favorite scene from that.
The dearth of a scene to the party? No. That was pretty bad CGI too. Let me tell you exactly what I'm going to do to everyone before I do it. It's probably a Faraday cage. Probably.
Better safe than sorry.
I kind of stabbed her.
That's such a funny dialogue. You're just
So quick.
You're just becoming more powerful than I imagined. He's dead.
It's true.
Yeah.
But even faster, he said, "It's true!"
All of it.
It's true. All of it. It's just Jubilee fucking around in the background.
Where's my Dazzler, Fox? Dazzler is like Jubilee, but so cool. Also, you can be Dazzler in the X-Men arcade game by Konami.
I'm afraid we'll be fully operational. Bye.
He's like,
He kind of
fuck
does
you,
that
tiny man.
in Days of Future Past, like where you're just like, ooh.
Yeah. Although that fuck off is a lot more poignant than I think that one.
Well, his lift in that is to stop the incoming Sentinels.
No, it's at the
No,
at
at
the
the
very
end.
end where like it's all like
Oh, we're talking about like when he's like in
yeah, he's talking to Mystique and Charles. He's just like
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah. He's like, peace out.
I always thought this was like classic Wolverine. Stab himself.
Classic
Yeah.
Wolverine.
I'll be alright. I'll be alright.
I heal.
heal faster.
Is the worst thing that happened to him just having his adamantium ripped off in the comics?
Oh, in the comics, I mean that fucking sucks. It burns
Yeah.
out. It burns out his healing factor for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. What about his fight with the Hulk?
Where he gets ripped in half.
Yeah.
Oh, and
An
Ultimate
Hulk versus
first Wolverine.
Yeah, I was supposed to say.
Written by Damon Lindelof.
That one's pretty fucking metal.
Yeah, he has to crawl up to his legs and then heal them to reattach.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. It's been a hard life for old Logan.
Yeah.
Ready for a trailer
But-
moment?
Oh yeah.
It's coming in a second.
Trailer pose.
When he cuts off one of the
One of the Liberty Spikes.
yeah.
And you technically make him the
Sorry,
most
punk kids.
indestructible mutant. You throw everything at him.
I mean, he pretty much is one of the most indestructible mutants.
Trying to think what the most painful thing to happen to him in the movies is.
The getting his skin ripped off when he's doing the whole
The entire
Phoenix.
the entire
It's
climax.
all just ripping off his skin and coming
oh,
back on, ripping
yeah.
off his
And they
skin.
reveal he's actually a Terminator.
Oh yeah, you see parts of his
Yeah.
skull.
That-
And
Oh,
it's
the
the
dude.
Terminator model.
The Wolverine Origins game where like you like it's
Oh,
kind
that game is so
Here
good.
it is.
game's awesome. Here it is. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. That is not aged well, bro. That was like one of my favorite moments too, but oof.
That
Was the landing fine.
Yeah,
Superb.
Superb.
I don't know what looked better, the Origins game or that.
But no, the Origins game where like if you
McKellen.
get fucked up, like it'll show like your adamantium skeleton. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how you could unlock the alternate costumes in the Origin game too, like
Oh, yeah.
Tan and
Yeah.
X-Force.
Uncanny X-Force. Unfortunately, there was one that they never did, but they were gonna have the zombie Wolverine, but
from Marvel Zombies.
yeah, but they didn't do that one. I would always do the brown and tan one. It's my
Sure.
favorite. Is that the most popular Wolverine outfit, even over the classic blue and yellow? You think?
It's between those two. It's tough. I feel like it's the casual, maybe not even casual fans, but I feel like most fans would go blue and yellow. But there is a very kind of vocal, like "fuck yeah" for the tan outfit.
I feel the tan feels less silly.
Well, there's almost like there's
Yeah.
that, and there's also kind of like almost like a tan suit. Like everyone's
Yeah.
kind of like because red and or yellow and red. There's never been a fucking red. No, actually there was, but the yellow and blue is like when everyone thinks of Wolverine. I feel like that's like animated series.
Sure, yeah.
You know, he had it all through the fucking 90s. Yeah, that's like
Yeah, when I think of Wolverine, I think of the blue and yellow. But when I think the better costume is the black and tan.
mhm.
Nice bangs.
It was always weird to me that we never see Sabretooth again.
Until Origins.
Well, that's a I mean, okay.
Yeah, but that's the last chronologically that we see.
Yeah.
Do we see Toad again, or was that it too
That's
for
it.
him?
That's it for Toad in the
Hugh Jackman's face.
chronologically.
Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman's face is so funny.
We see him in earlier in the timeline.
I guess this movie proves that they aren't really X-Men, they're X-Force.
I mean, black outfits.
And they have killed 2 mutants now.
I think they would. X-Men, I feel like, never quite had the no-kill rule.
Cool shot.
But I always felt it was like a last resort type thing, whereas X-Force was kind of like rules of engagement are out the window.
Well, X-Force is like proactive. Like they will seek. They're like seek and destroy.
Yeah.
Search and seek and destroy.
Stop. If you destroy her,
You know, I
then you
just
destroy
felt like
Krypton.
the X-Men were kind of like the Fantastic Four in a way.
Both at the time, both rights, but I guess still technically owned by 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that announcement where the rights revert to Marvel.
You and everyone else.
I wonder how long they have until, is it what, 2 years, 3 years that they have between films before another one has to be in active development, something like that?
I think, yeah, something along those lines. That's why we got that awful Fantastic Four movie.
'Cause we're
And by
coming-
that I mean all three of them.
Yeah. My favorite Fantastic Four movie, The Incredibles.
Yeah, me too.
I did like the first actually released Fantastic Four movie.
I like
The Jessica Alba one?
Yeah.
I like elements. I mean, obviously,
The casting was great.
Yeah.
Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm.
That
The others
wonderful
were all right.
Welshman whose name I can never pronounce.
Young Griffith
Thank you.
from San Andreas.
Or
Out of my way.
Forever, the canceled show on ABC.
Oh yeah, didn't last.
Yeah, such a shame.
There's the iconic hair.
And the green, which also was a staple of the character for a while.
Yeah, I mean, she had been wearing like the hood and stuff. Like I guess ever since she left Mississippi.
Yeah.
Come on, and touch me, baby. Can't you see that I am not afraid?
Obviously, because it's not working.
What was that promise that you made?
I didn't make you a promise.
Why don't you tell me what she said?
She's not saying anything,
What
Sam.
was that promise that you made?
Make no promises, tell no lies.
Come on!
Hey, look! Old Man Logan confirmed.
Ugh. Easter egg, guys! Easter egg!
Make sure you don't miss it.
Hugh Jackman O-face. Veiny and blood and everything.
Hugh Jackman, dead face.
Would her ability actually do that, though?
Drain his abilities? Drain his life force?
Well, open up old wounds.
Yeah, I think the thing they were trying to show there, maybe it's because those wounds are fresh, like from his fight.
They're
with
still
Sabretooth.
actively repairing them.
Yeah, and it like undoes what he was doing.
Okay.
I'll allow that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just visually it looks.
Yeah,
better.
it does look cool.
We've already seen veiny Logan back at the X Mansion. Man, looks like
What an awkward pose for that
Yeah.
man to die in.
get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here!
And they were never seen again.
And they all lived happily ever after. Am I naked?
Gene.
Well, considering we lost you for most of the film, budget-wise,
Look
pretty
at that
good.
chest hair. I forgot that he had a fucking like mink rug on his chest.
Austin Powers status.
I
Who
just wanted to
wore it
touch his
better?
boob.
Natural born killer, folks.
Grr. My name's Wolverine. Growl. Ugh. What's worse, saying grr or actually saying the word growl? I feel like it was growl.
Yeah.
No, I'd give it to Gurr.
You're a weird motherfucker.
Well, yeah.
Cyclops.
No, that other woman that gets retconned in later.
Lynn Collins from True Blood and
Lady
John Carter.
Deathstrike.
The Silver Fox.
Yes.
Kayla Silver Fox. But we'll save that for the beginning, the prologue of the second film.
In case we get that second film.
And the climax.
You're just like, fuck him.
Give me the thriller moment.
Thriller! Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. 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 You have hair in your mouth. Oh, it's gone.
This whole movie is an origin of how Rogue got her streak in her hair.
Yeah.
And how Wolverine was not the mutant they were looking for.
Indeed.
You are not the father.
Oh, shit.
Before they filmed this scene, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen didn't know how to play chess, which at their age is unforgivable.
Even for who they are. Jesus. Wow. I mean, to be fair, they may be checkers men.
I do think this is, just the image of Professor X and Magneto playing chess with glass pieces, I think is just so fucking iconic.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that Mark Miller basically lifted it entirely during his Ultimate X-Men run.
And they never really touch on, like, the history and friendship they used to have in these films as well, as I think, as much as the prequel ones.
Yeah, until First Class.
Yeah,
they touch on it here and there, but First Class is really a buddy cop movie with them.
Yeah, it really explores that. I think that was a conscious decision. They're like, we've hemmed and hawed about them being friends as younger men. Let's show them as younger men.
And show the schism, I guess, that happened between them.
Yeah, see that Magneto, unlike
Schism.
the comics,
By Tool?
in this film, Magneto paralyzes Professor X.
Well,
Well,
Wait.
he does.
you said in which one?
In First Class.
First
In First
Class.
yeah. Unlike the comics.
I inadvertently blame that on him.
He doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
He's not consciously like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to do this.
But yeah, it's because of his action.
Yeah.
And Moira's.
To the point where Professor X goes, it wasn't her, it was you. It's pretty overt.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with Charles on that one.
All right,
Okay.
that's fine. I'm just saying it's pretty overt.
I know, but I'm just saying shooting a gun at someone who can control metal is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's David Hayter. God damn it.
Don't be a
Well
hater.
done, Mr.
Be a
Pliskin.
David.
Iroquois Pliskin, as he goes by in Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah, and there, of course, it's produced by Richard Donner's wife, Lauren Schuler Donner, which is always cool. Hey, look, and there he is as an executive producer. But yeah, that's the first X-Men movie. It's really, again, Blade set the stage, but it was really X-Men and Spider-Man that brought it to the mainstream. and thank God we get a sequel that they really get to kind of stretch their muscles and really show what
And claws.
and claws and really show what they can do.
And
Considering
other
where the
various-
second
and
one
other
goes.
various, powers and stuff.
It's certainly, the upcoming one is certainly my favorite in the series. This one's okay. I will say, revisiting this after several years, some of those effects are kind of rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
you
mean,
can-
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie from start to finish, and like most movies, it didn't age as well. But it was really fun to see Hugh Jackman's first performance as Wolverine and see a much more kind of tempered and reserved Wolverine, which isn't like necessarily the best thing to say about Wolverine, but I thought it was a interesting performance to see.
I
after
liked
almost
that
20 years.
overall, this one treated it as a much more grounded, the subsequent ones do get very over the top and like kind of like fall back on that whole it's based on a comic book, we can go balls out, or whatever. Whereas this one's like playing it safe and also just like being a bit more serious with like a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor here and there, and I kind of really like that.
Yeah, I feel like in that case, like they really did kind of handle the budget cuts pretty successfully in that regard. They used it to their advantage.
Exactly. Unlike what unfortunately happens in like
Superman
X3
4.
or Superman 4. Yeah.
We can still keep the set pieces in minus Nuclear Man 1.
Yeah. Oddly enough, all Donner movies, sort of.
Yeah.
All within the Donnerverse.
Yeah,
because of
there's a shade of Donner.
I like how it's Logan / Wolverine.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a commentary for obviously we're gonna keep going with this for the next 6 weeks. This has been another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
Josh?
We'll see you next week.
You're not here, Jake.
Bye.